Good afternoon, folks. Rick Jaffoon, and I'm coming to you from the little town of Deansboro in upstate New York. Now, Deansboro is a little town about 20 miles south of the city of Utica. And what I am standing in now was once referred to as the $1 Million Ditch or the Shenango Canal. This is one of the many locks to that canal that was built in 1833, and it was built to connect the city of Utica with the city of Binghamton. The reason they built this canal, Utica had numerous manufacturing firms in it, and they relied on one thing: coal. There are no coal mines in the state of New York, so they had to go down to Pennsylvania to get coal. The coal was brought up to Binghamton, New York, and then it was brought up on horse and buggy all the way up the seaboard. Okay, in 1833, they built this canal. They allotted the people $1 million to build this canal, and when they were done, it would cost over $2 million. And one of the many expenses for this canal was there was no natural water. 7 reservoirs had to be built to feed this canal: Lake Moraine, Lebanon Reservoir, Hatch Lake. There was a number of lakes and things that were built to feed this canal. Now, this canal was only used for about 40 years, from 1833 to about 1878. By then, the railroads had taken over and put the canal out of business. But in the 40 years that this thing was running hot, there were numerous townships and stuff that sprung up around it. It was very good for the local economy. It brought the coal up that we needed, that the mills up in Utica needed. And it's too bad that it only lasted about 40 years. But after it got to the end of its life, the railroads had taken over, and it was no longer needed. We're going to knock off for a minute or two, and then I'm going to take you down and show you the last remaining stretch of this canal. It still has water in it. To the best of my knowledge, all of it has been filled in or just let to become nothing. But we're going to knock off for a couple minutes, and then we're going to show you what is left of the canal a little bit farther south from here. Okay, so we'll be back in just a few minutes. Okay, folks, I'm back. We're just a little bit further south from Deansboro. We're in the town of what's called Salesville. And behind me is the last stretch of the Shenango Canal that still has water in it. From this point up into the town of Hamilton is the only stretch of the old canal left that still has water in it, and it's used for public fishing. And on the canal path, people use it to walk in as a walking path, but this is the Shenango Canal. And as I was telling you earlier, it had a real short lifespan, and one of the reasons it had the short lifespan is there were roughly 97 miles between the city of Utica and Binghamton, and there was such an elevation difference that there was about a lock every mile. So the boats had to be locked through about every mile, which was, kind of defeating the purpose because it was so slow. But they used it for about 40 years, and then in 1878 it ceased operation. In my hand here I have a yoke that I found in one of the houses when I was contracting. The house was a trading post on the old canal, and this lady gave this to me. And at first I thought it was an oxen yoke, but it's much too small. It must have been used for mules or horses, but this was actually used to pull the packet boats on the canal. Now, like I said behind me, this is the last stretch of it. Throughout the state, it's all been filled in, and it only had a short lifespan of about 40 years, but it did make a few communities along the way, made them wealthy with their commerce and stuff. And well, that's about it. There's not much more to say about the old Shenango. It's short-lived, and it's a part of New York history. And well, I'm Rick Jaffoon. I'm one half of Gold Jeff Productions, and I hope you enjoyed this little video, and in a few weeks we'll have another one for you.